Not doing that voice again. I'm actually going to do this again. The Adventure of the Clouded Piccolo.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
February 9:47 a.m. British Supreme Court. Lord Chief Justice's office. Give me a second. I originally started without using a headset, but never mind. I'm getting that ready.
Alright, there we go. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do that. So sleep last night, Mr. Naruto? No, not at all. It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? Rooms are so luxurious. Felt like we were staying in a palace. All the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than day, even in the middle of the night. With the enormous place. I mean, yes, it's buried with a single space. Spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. Oh yeah, it really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except, I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms. The dream quickly turned into... Sorry, but the building was so impressive and the entrance so inviting, I just wandered in without... No money. Here. I did try, but I could... Still... Never mind. Horrible lodging straight away, but... Careful. 10 days or less. Oh, good morning to you this early. Oh, yes, well... Good morning to you, Justice. I was to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. Amazing. It isn't bad an eyelid. The presence of the imposing Hunghar. I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practice. Oh yes, it was very eye-opening. And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Stronghart, Naruto performed his duty to the end. Yes, the board has been appraised of him. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed. No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land. Thank you very much. Lawyer now. Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that it won't be a problem. Another case? Already? Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. By the way, guys, if anyone wants to see it, I have the duck game. Like, I have Plastic Duck Simulator. I have it set to where it can show up if I open it. So if anyone wants to see that. Like, if anyone wants to see the Duck Simulator at all, I'm up for that as well. Sure. I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I? It's just that yesterday's trial ended, usually. I haven't quite come to terms with it. What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for? The culpability of the defendant has not at the present time been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. Lord Van Zieks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. I try to stay quiet because, like, you know, I'm in my dad's house. Too loud. He might have a cold. I just can't help wondering. I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGilded really was innocent. Mr. Naruhodo, it's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. Then the trial ended. Well, you needed to let it trouble you for a second longer. I don't know, man. What if he really wasn't innocent? Sorry? Sorry? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? Magnus McGilded passed away immediately following the trial. Oh, what? Mr. McGilded is dead? I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. I'm enough to talk. Alright, let's figure out what. So, like, last time we had a cutscene, like, after all this, that showed a man still in the omnibus while it was burning. If McGilded's death has anything to do with it, I'd say he was the one in there. I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead? After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll probably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom. Oh, crap. Yes, of course. That was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGilded had been accused of. Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames. No. How could such a thing have happened? That is being investigated as we speak, but already the police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of Mr. Gilded. Mr. Gilded. That's awful. The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. The bailiff really needs to pay more attention. And how could that have happened? That is also being investigated as we speak. Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus. Well, I must be making tracks now. Time for the inspection. Sorry? What inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. As an inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage. And who is Mr. McGilded talking about? Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police. Poor McGilded. Oh, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court? Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was... wow. Mr. Naruhodo means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. Wow. Such a way with words. And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones. The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can. The most advanced in the world, is it? It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair. Simple? That was simple? As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose. I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but this was anything but simple. Circumstances of the case were so incriminating, I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Something funny? No. Apology. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. That can only be attributed to exceptional talent, wouldn't you agree? Well, I don't know about that. Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much at least is an undeniable truth, which is precisely why I prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before. What's going on? What was he going to say before? Perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned? Don't tell me, it's a murder and the trial starts in 10 minutes. Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming and quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different. Oh, I see. You just read my mind? That is to say, no one has died, as yet. And the trial will not be today. There's plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise. So the trial's tomorrow, then. Is everything alright? Oh, yeah. I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was, well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I don't know if I can face standing in the courtroom again after Mr. McGilded's trial. Ah, yes, I nearly forgot. There's one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense. Oh. If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. If that happens, I need to remind you of the inevitable outcome. The most terrible end awaits the defendant. Yes, that's right. Here we go again. Your time is up. You will have to excuse. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until court sits. Last time you mentioned 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time. And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. There's something I should like to ask you. Oh, what's that? Yesterday, you remarked upon something that you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Rasogi. I would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds. Oh, well, Yuma always used to say, you see, he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world worked so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing. Oh. Another thing? Continue. On the way here, on the steamship, he said something to me. There's something very important that I have to do. Something very important. And what exactly would that be? He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he'd ever made it to Great Britain. You're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion. Naruhodo, what's all this about? Sogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me. I urge you both to focus your attention on the matter at hand. taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to apprise you of the details. How long has he been there? So I wish you the best of luck and bid you farewell. There's something very important that I have to do. What did you mean? Wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we had better talk to the detective, don't you think? You're right. I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. What is he holding? Oh, that looks nice. Did we trouble you? What do you think? Lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with it? Listen to me, young Japanese upstart. Don't fret about the weather doesn't get every English sentence out of your hand, you know? Son told me it before. I'm a busy man, a very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here having to give the likes of you to talking to. I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying? You haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. Hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation at the yard going to tatters. There's no need to rip us apart as well. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. Eh? It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. Eh? It is unseasonably fine. A freaking course. Like a freaking course. That when Sasato says it, it works. Unbelievable. How did you pull that off? Oh. Well, Stronghold has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard. Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Sasato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? What's his name again? Tobias. Okay. Inspector Gregson. Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? You're acting like you know this man, Mrs. Otto, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Oh, in that publication? What's it called again? Friends magazine? That's right, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible. Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time. Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of bad of all Scotland Yarders. This was his own words. That's his highest praise. Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see. That he is not, and thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. It's great, isn't it? I have to admit, to start with, I was a little, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Well, that's wonderful. But no, it is not. There's nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure. Rumors? Are you quite sure? He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that. Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you? Like I said, they whisper, so I can't catch exactly what they're saying, but I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs. I get the feeling this detective could be very hard. It could be very hard work. Oh dear, perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people. Oh, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler. Oh dear, it probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. The young woman was walking along the pavement on Brer Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal. She's still laid up in the hospital unconscious. It's despicable. What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind? I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with this takedown, would you? That's neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo. Richard's hoping Suke, you've angered her now. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. We barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit? Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question? Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Alright? There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now. Why are there not? Simple. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Barak Van Zeeks. Oh. Not like you've heard of him then. Oh yes. You're very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks, believed to be the harbinger of death itself. Reaper of the Bailey. Lord Barak Van Zeeks, being faced in court only yesterday. Sir Gilda told us about him before the trial, didn't he? When Van Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused, damn. Reaper the Bailey nickname. Suppose he earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty. Is that it? Inform me, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against both Van Zeeks and Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty. What of it? Oh, well, I think even against the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant. No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? Dead. Huh. Agus the Gilded came a cropper in the omnibus when it went up in flames. But you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you? What are you saying? Look, if Van Zeeks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you. Are we really supposed to believe that? I filled you in as well, but I'm very nearly out of shifts. Well, I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there. It was Briar Road, that didn't you? Where the incident took place. Correct, ma'am. Head over to the holding cells to get the criminal himself. Brand him a criminal already? Good ass. Shaking like a leaf in his cell he is. I'll give you a chuckle at nothing. Inmate 53. Jailer and he'll show you the way. Inmate 53. Thank you. But there's no helping against the Reaper at the Bailey, they say. Something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? truth. When I recalled the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, no shame, turn. Too. But if the man they've arrested is innocent, well, imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So, honest, still reeling from the shock of yesterday's event itself. I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try, so I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Help? You really think you have... Oh, I'm your judicial assistant. Then, shall we? Let's go. This looks like a dungeon. 19th February, local prison, cell 9. But these are British prison cells. It's just like a dungeon. Password? Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than old stone walls. Oh, mister, you're making it seem worse. Our client is in the back. Maybe if you're 3, your legal representative is CEO. Stop idling. Hide in the back of the cell and show your face at once. And is yet with no name? Calling me by a number. It's unbelievably unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Odo, what do you think is going on here? I wasn't just hearing things. The rate of complaints ease. Hey, watch. Alright. There you are. Yes, ma'am. Went right out. You're a ghost. Ghost? Mean you know how to. By any chance? You're my wildest dream. Forgive me for that just before. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's fine. We're just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it. It's been 12 long months since I left my town, and here I am, in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of Patriot's voice and hearing this damp, dark hellhole was... every moment. Who could have guessed? Wronghearters. Turned out to be a fellow Japanese. Compassion like fellow country go. Spent a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to make everyone student. No, military, never fair in Nippon. First-class lawyer? I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? I have been detained? Suspect, for example? Yes. Yeah, I will. Safe foreigners? I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, so my name is Ryuna Suki Naruhodo. And I am Naruhodo's beautiful assistant, Haro Mikitoba. A visiting student sent here by our government. Hopefully, take forward the name. Sume. Wait a second, Sume. Inasume. Usual name. Omisoseki, please. I'm a poet, you see. Writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume. Plume? You mean an alias? Right. Oh no! Don't be so precise. It's much more refined than that. Haiku really reminds me of home. Did I hear you say that you were visiting over here by the gun? Right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English. First, I had to suffer that misery, and now this. It's beyond the pain. Did you not want to study here? No, I mean, I've had an interest in playing cricket for some years, of course. But just because the government tells you to do something, does it mean you can do it? No. What do you mean? They told me to study English literature. That I could have understood. It's my field. No, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. Only the other day, I was told on the report of my first year here. I handed a blank piece of paper. White squares on whitewashing. Must be a man of great standing. Not often. That sounds exactly why I've been arrested, like you said. I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder. Murder? One didn't actually die, did you? Dad, the knife right before my eyes. Your eyes and body attack? It's a new one. That's the person who did it. You think I'd be locked up in here? Yeah, this case is becoming rather complicated. Why did the city woman have to be stabbed in front of me? The curse of London. It's incredibly inconvenient. Next time, we have to see and reach and see the attacker. Finally, we find out more about the case. It was an accursed evening. It was after the snow turned clear and heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to cursed lodgings. Bookshop wasn't accursed. I was walking along my accursed pavement. I could make up the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, and just I went to overtake her. A little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. That's terrible. Oh, this guy, he got a mustache. 33. I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, grim graveyard. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps. Terrified. I had to get away from there. I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. They had shameful and never to run away like that. The victim of violence it was? Don't be ridiculous. You think I know any of these fair-haired English? A young woman at that. Evidence shot, timid, unsure. I don't talk to people. A woman who knows what is happened. Close to the scene nearby. Luckily, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. Oh, great. The victim was unknown to you. No, there was nobody else on the street of it. Sure, it's something of a conundrum, doesn't it? What conundrum? What do you mean, Susato-san? What's conundrum? I'd say that, and then I see on the top left, "Where are my balls?" is playing Destiny 2. What if what's to say? What is? That's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim, and that there was no one else at the scene of the crime. And he apparently fled without having been seen. I did. If that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. No, I didn't say anything. That's not what was troubling me. I was thinking, he said actually come arrested. I didn't touch the victim, there was nobody at the scene to see him. How did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? Yes, she's right. Person, detective, you left the police to me. Of all of the bad blood. There's a trick detective? Could it be? I should never forget that man's name as long as I live. Probably laughed and his self-proclaimed grave and trash picture he would probably be gone. The end of your day, Sholmes. Look. Mr. Sholmes? Dr. Sholmes. No, I didn't expect to hear bad name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after the knife had folded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst in through the door. They started shouting at me, "This is the police! Put the weapon down!" Yes, it was a thin sliver, yes, it was hard. I wasn't using a weapon. Disgusting dietary discrimination devils. Really had a trying morning yesterday. It was in the middle of all the policemen, running like a Cheshire. But there, Lock Sholmes. Guess we just heard Lock Sholmes. He's English. Let's find out that he's a famous name in detection here in London. Your detective is very well. Holy sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts. He's on the night-footing madman. Me, this weak, stupid kitten of a man. A great deduction process sort of conclusion is. You mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That'd be really most unreasonable. The thing is, I was starting to panic when they barged their way in. Of course you were, that's only natural. They find having to make a firm question at me in impossible English. It was inflammatory. Well, if you are in England, you can really blame them for questioning English. Good point. But my man went blank. I knew I had an answer, but I didn't know what to say. I just kept repeating things like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I knew it doesn't matter. I knew what I was running here. But it was surprising. Fine. Now. What's an hour or less wire? Oh, you can just call me now. Hold on. When we're speaking English, a simple mister is more than enough. Oh, yes, It really country is poisoning my mind. I'll be right back. Defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Well, why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself on a study tour. Student? I've defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only the one, though. For this hard time, I don't really know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. And I'm not even a foreign student who is supposed to be here. Sort of locum lawyer, I suppose. But oh man, that's the mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire. A keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend. Keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me. Oh, what do you mean? The lawyers, all the British defense lawyers, they won't defend me. Yes, why do you say that? For the same reason as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you, Saki-san. Anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them, someone not to be trusted. Also, donkey story. I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot, without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said. And, of course, the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say, I don't understand half of what's being anyway. They're wrong. There'll be more English from half the policemen out there on the streets. Travel halfway around the countries and its great history. But no one noticed. And with a strange accent, they all hate me. So, at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me, my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through. Saki-san, that's... Please. I'll do what I can for the time. What do you mean? Shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure. Yes, thank you. I'll be here, all alone, reporting for you, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. We should be going then, Hodo-san. We have a case to prepare for. of February, Breer Road. this is where you're look, Mr. Naruhodo. Look at that regulation metal helmet. Unmistakable. The men is coming here. They're investigating as we speak. That is the job, you know. Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I've never dreamt they'd come close to they'd come this close. The real Bobby's helmet. Helmet? Of course. I have to try one on one day. Well, I hope your Hattie dream comes true. The Japanese delegation doing here. Oh, Dr. Gregson. This is a tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware. Of course, we're here to investigate. Oh, you've been in the holding cells then. How'd you make the criminal? He's not a criminal as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect. We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose, but... I feel like that might be kind of racist. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. Blokes in court tomorrow, whatever happens. Verdict's a foregone conclusion. Stone cold air of rejection. I can't. Winter this time of year is full of stone cold air. That makes it worse somehow. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I've read about it in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place. Yard. Investigative police and organization you'll find anywhere in the world, man. And you know, I've always dreamt of finding real Bobby's helmet. It does make them look the part, seeing that police find out with his helmet on. I certainly get the sense that this man who will take no nonsense in the duty of protecting the city. Look wonderful. You know, London Bobby is arguing. Tell you. Oh, really? First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes round and rouses all the laborers and out to work. He wakes people up, raps on the windows with a long pole. Even myself, going back a bit. I had no idea. Bobby works for the people of the town. Another one of his duties. That, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance. I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way. 20 miles? That's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama. On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. When it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting up all the gas street lights. Oh my. I suppose in between all of those duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well, and chase or evade the law. I'm not sure you'd call it in between exactly, or alongside, yes. But they're expected to handle those jobs as well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit. I always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. It's with a heavy heart. I shall have to agree. Your head would probably be my heavy head if you do. Happened at around 5 in the evening, 2 days ago. Just there on that open bit of pavement. Victim, a young woman was stabbed with a blade from behind. Right, the lady is still unconscious now, but she's here in the hospital. Never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes out around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all. Plus it means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course. Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on. Take it if you... Really? Are you sure? It's yard policy to give lawyers to defend suspects the odd bit of information to go on. haven't actually accepted the job yet. No. Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept. The local maps and world record. Anyway, boss, we know there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So, who did it, do you think? Much of a head scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Natsumi also claimed me not to have seen anyone. If he didn't see anyone, we can be sure that nobody else was present. Sorry to have to tell you, but most certainly can be sure. How? Because, man, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. What? We have two very reliable witnesses, no less. Huh. It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see it. There were witnesses now? One of these witnesses, Inspector? Fellow and his wife. Man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London. The copper from Scotland Yard. Huh. The policeman? Might change things. This policeman just there at the exact moment when the woman was attacked? You're worried about that, man. Part and parcel of being Bobby. Catching him bang in the act. Do you think it might be possible first to ask that police questions? Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. For tomorrow. Oh. I have no doubt it'll be someone who's a witness. That'll give you something to look forward to. That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand. Policeman witnessed the incident. Your judicial assistant? I'm explaining that this can make our job very difficult indeed. A non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. One more thing, Inspector. What? Urgent led you to the suspect. I hear that was Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Are you bringing him up? You think I said? Oh, it's strange. Where did you get that name from? Oh, it was Mr. Natsume who said that Mr. Holmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. Here was the result of one of Mr. Holmes' inspirational great confections. Little fact. Oh. I do not you. Getting sick and tired of him showing this nugget over there. Where he gets furnished crumb, turns over the scene of the crime, wanders around straddling incomprehensible rubbish. Before you know it, claims to have solved the case. Quite astounding, isn't he? I mean, he has a great help for Scotland Yard, though, isn't he? Here, old Gavin. Ever seen this before? Your answer. Wonderful publication in which the adventures of Sherlock Holmes appears. Now, these fit to include several of the art's stories. And the so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. Yes, in the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Sherlock Holmes tale at all. Well, I suppose there is an element of that. Work our socks off, every one of us. Want to be thumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man's as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals. Can't really be true, can it, Inspector? Clearly, the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. That twitchy Japanese bloke was on trial. Going to defend him or not? Well, makes no difference to me. I'll just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt can touch that case with a barge pole. If the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Belly, there's nowhere to save the man. Right. All a bit strange, though. Right? Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court for a good few years now. Yes, we did hear something to that effect. The only people who usually are the real scum, the master criminal, violent ones. The criminals? The violent ones? Right, he handpicks his victim. Only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins. He's not suing. I'm paying for what he's accused of, surely. That's just my point, Sid. The young woman was stabbed, but couldn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. Well, this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to keep it. For want of a better phrase. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, there's gotta be more to it. Well, what sort of reason, Inspector? You think I can tell what's going on inside the head of the Lord of Darkness? Think I'm going to have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness? Well, I don't think we're going to get any more information out of the detective. Make a suggestion. What is it? Well, seems to me. I must speak about this. Him, do you? Yes, Sherlock Holmes, exactly. Can't wait, can't. Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Holmes for all the things. He did. He probably did. They said we were all party in the case. Going to ignore them? Hope not. Assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again. The trouble is, you have no idea the man's address. It's Baker Street. How do you know that? It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world. Sure, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. Gotta try to find our way there before the stars any more inside and unpredictable. Run, I'll summon a carriage. So, we're at the union already. Great detective. Oh my god, it's too late.
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street.
Too late.
Good day.
Oh my god.
Thanks again. This is it. The residence of Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
February, 12:53 p.m. Home Suite. This is where the great detective is living. It feels surreal to be here. Describe the stories. That's describing the stories, Mrs. Zato? Anything is involved here in this very room. Oh, how nice. Been yet. Never read the story, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it. See? The detective chases the relentlessly disappears into the fog down an unlit street. The thrill of it, the romanticism. Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Of course I can, yes. If you don't mind. Why don't you stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while? Please, don't worry me. detective friend isn't home at present. Excuse me, is anybody home? Oh, do we have a visitor? Hello, is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes? Hello? Wait. You? Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once. Sure, it's the same girl. Oh, did you see the girl who was just here? Really extraordinary. King Bohemia King Sholmes to take on his case. Bavaria? King Wilhelm, that's King Wilhelm, Gastry Digimon. Ornstein, of course. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. At the adventure for Sherlock Holmes for a moment. Look over there. Please bring it to my official big. Oh, hey, it's you. Oh, it still sounds very exciting. Nice to see you too. There you are. Take that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade. Oh, good day to you. The inventor, I suppose, of Bean. Who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilda's trial in the Clinton Secretary. I've met a lawyer from the Far East before. Or you have to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London. Challenging. Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know? Also, hi, what a fragrant metal flavor. Hey, it's a winner. I tried blending different greens this time, it would be a fatigue, you see. Must be exhausted after the long voyage here, and you have another tickless trial tomorrow. Oh, and you're defending Japanese man. I do wish you bought some extra luck. Did Sholmes tell you about us by any chance? You know Hurley, do you? Oh, Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes is a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see. Was he really? I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand today. Oh, he's just returned from overseas. Wait a minute. Well, for the first time after yesterday, I never wow. Only briefly at that. How much you know so much? You deduce those things, I think. Perhaps more to the point. Why is she here, Mr. Wait. Oh, silly me. I haven't introduced myself, have I? It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson. I live together here. I live here together with Hurley. Iris, is it? What a lovely name. What? What's the matter? Oh, wait, this can't be. You say that your name is Wilson? What's the matter with his house? He's so flustered all of a sudden. Yes, that's right. Now, what are your names? Oh, I'm Ryonosuke Nara, a lawyer from Japan. Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Hado Mikitoba. Wonderful to meet you. Oh, lovely. Susie and... Susie? No? More to this girl is... some questions. I don't know where to start. Yes, and so do I. There's something I must ask you. Of course. Go ahead, Susie. Very friendly. Oh, you have a copy of the Ranced magazine. Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship. Of course, you're being read on the other side of the world. Stories. Right, Hurley is always solving such amazing cases. All about them. They really are quite fascinating. It'd be such a shame if anyone who ever heard them, don't you think? Goodness. He was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. You're the author? You want a secret? Yes, I'll let you in on a secret if you like. I'm going to call the latest adventure the Speckled Band. The Speckled Band? It's certainly very familiar. course, I always change one or two details in the stories here and there. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble. Mr. Sean's first thought as well, actually. Of course, I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but the story, some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think. Do you mean to say that stories about Mr. Sean were published in the Random's magazine all written by me? Yes. Wonderful and very modern typewriter. And all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson. That was something more worked up. Ah, yes, that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. But the doctor of medicine part. That's all true too. I am a doctor of medicine. I was 10 years old. 10 years old? That's quite incredible. Dr. Wilson, an English gentleman. Ah, yes. I did alter the setting slightly for his view spelling. Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10 so. Oh, it does, yeah. Her world is just falling apart. You see that we ran yesterday. The Old Bailey. Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. How much? Not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming. We did have a rather large gun pointed at us. Yes? Back now. You left with Miss Lestrange in town, didn't you? Yes, the awkward witness. Lestrange. Oh, didn't he? Yes, he's a professional pickpocket. Now, though, is it fair enough for the pinch my invention like that? Referring to that trial disruption, unlike corruption? Exactly. So I followed her here, you see? Get it back. Perhaps I should think about putting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions. They're also dangerous. Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that. So she could apologize to my trusty technician. Sorry, your technician? Early, of course, silly. Wait. Yes, Sherlock Sholmes. Live here together. Or the other tech. Oh, Otter? Wait, what? I wouldn't call him early if he was my Well then, your relationship with Mr. Holmes. Well, I expect you found any kind of very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner, a roommate. Roommates? You don't mind asking me first, but how old are you? 10 at last this year. Well, what of your mother and father? Oh no, they're not around. Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there. About before. Yes, what's on your mind, Bruno? You tell me. How did you know that I was a lawyer and we just arrived in London, I mean? Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please, tell us how you did it. In every detail. Of course, I'd be delighted. Although, it's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Ernest Wilson is proud to present the Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. First of all, I knew already that you were a lawyer, Bruno. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's imaging. You also said that we'd only just arrived in London. Where'd you know that? I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket. Oh, I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted a case against that particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs. Reaper of the Bailey, I walked right into that one, didn't I? Then I noticed a red ink stab on the back of Susie's hand. You were doing that when you visited the old prison to be with the suspect, weren't you? Earlier today. Oh. Then they used the stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, see? I didn't realize the red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. Oh, that's right. Even though you had only yesterday completed the trial of Magnus Building, two of you had already had cause to visit a foreign inmate at a local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face. But clearly the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case. Indeed. How could you have known that the trial was tomorrow? Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. Obviously amused him. Told me that he caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling. A Japanese man? Really, that must be... Yume. Now Runo has a fancy Japanese sword. I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Anyway, it was clear to me that you both come from Japan yourselves. So I put two and two together and decided you must be the friend of the Japanese Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion that those facts lead me to. We both came here to ask Hurley about the case. There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley's always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know? He is silly. That's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson. On my great deduction. Was it a winner? Were my deductions correct? They were spot on. Amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction. You even managed to certain something of Mr. Sholmes' delivery. I was just copying Hurley's style for that. Really good. This is really very good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. Will, won't you, Honor? Please. Yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended the Japanese man you were saying. Yes. Earlier, Jace arrived back in London after a sea voyage. The police were waiting for him at the railway station, taken directly to the crime scene. It was a popular name. Apparently, a woman was stabbed in a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking, stooped man running away from the scene. Short, shifty-looking, stooped man? Mr. Natsumi, beyond any doubt. For seconds after that, he didn't see anybody else on the street at all. It seems there were witnesses after all. Hurley used speech deduction powers to determine the man's address. It was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man, shivering in fear. The Sholmes' story deduction certainly hit the mark that time. Of course it did. He's a great detective. Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Really, tomorrow was too soon for the trial, wasn't it? Definitely. You had no time to investigate properly. Hurley says that London is rife with crime. Oh. Scotland Yard is doing its best, but we can't stay on top of it, apparently. I didn't realize the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying the criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person. It's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system. I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold out much hope for the second son. Thank you for answering so many of our questions on this. It's been very informative. Oh, you're most welcome. I had so much fun. You happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is coming? Yes, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well. Well, I expect Hurley is still investigating the scene. Case involving Mr. Nuts. You mean? Yes, Mr. Nuts. May. Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there. Iris, you know where those lodgings are? Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? The you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson when you were there? No, Inspector Gregson. Ah, goody. In that case, give Gregsy this for me, would you? Do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know. What's this? A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems. It reads, tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. Guess that won't be a problem. Yeah, this will make the inspector help us, will it? Oh, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. Good luck, then. I'm going to return to writing the manuscript, The Speckled Band. I'll be making more special blends of teas, so come back again soon. I'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of the crime. Oh, somewhat dubious if they would exert any influence over the men in Scotland Yard at all. We headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. To be continued. Yeah, I'll save my current progress. Figure 38 for your road. I'm gonna be right back. Police are still here, carrying on with their investigation. Perfect. Let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible. Let's see if he'll take a break from his trips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. Gregson, you have one good. Sorry to say I don't. Very nice man, which I prepared for me, Brad. Forgot about this one. Give these. Present for Miss Iris Wilson.
What? Me?
No, lady. Give that to me once. Hand it over. Hey. Not coin exactly. Silver crown. But it's a lot more than that. Well, it's an appearance fee, that's what it is. Oh, I see. You mean... Right, for the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The way to ship homes offers me a little financial reward for featuring me every time. Of course, I know all about your exploits. Read them avidly. Of course, you're using my name without my say-so does make it a lot of unpleasant jokes. But then it must be difficult. Whatever you want. So, what do you want to know? Sorry? The gentleman in black, whatever he wants to know. I trust I won't be able to. Obviously, it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? Wouldn't mind, Inspector. Very much like lodgings. I flew fast Japanese. He lives in a right old apple. It's just over there. Look. First floor of the house, where that wreck of a bicycle. First floor of that house in the corner where that wreck of a bicycle dropped up. Nearby indeed. If I remember right, the landlord is John Garrett. Here again? Or you give her later. Sorry, is he here? I mean, tell her that Gregson's very best wishes. Sorry, Inspector. Who else? What's his name again? Bye for now then. I love your ladyship. At least he told us what we wanted to know before he left. Go and see what we can find in his lodging? Definitely. The location's been added. February. And it's Suma's lodgings. See the residence of John Garrett? Edith Wood, sir? Yeah, I say it's called him. Hold on, representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here? Very much like to ask questions about our client. Moment. Say the message. Garrett. That Miss Susano? Real life English maid. I understand that you're standing in clarity. That's the first time I've seen one in the flesh. Better. Feels like it. But we're in the experience group. Daredevil, see you now. Don't give it service. Sir, looking down for a piece of defense look. Oh, excuse me. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the back. Little from my pains, but draw from service. Whispered, culture. There's now. Get that much. Quite a climb up here. Where isn't it? There's. Keep going, must take more exercise. Oh, Mr. Garrett, you were very courageous to up the medal. Oh, that was neat. The medal's just a photo roll. But not to offend the general, though I read how he displayed it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Jim? These good people see it properly. John, be careful. I do beg your pardon, sir. Don't need to take the skin off my hand. I'll be more careful, sir. So anyway, there you have it. Wildlife. B. There you want Chaplain. There's, is that right? Yes, we'd be very grateful if you can answer some questions for us. Only two, please, now, especially fighting. Of course, no. Sorry, you're. But this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. You had some famous detective poking around, you know, in this old house, would you believe? Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all that detective. Oh, but you have a copy of the Brand's magazine. No, no. Anyway, investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. It's balling new. Whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains. I don't like all this fuss. All this fuss. Oh, yes. Well, Mr. Asumi then, Mr. Garrett, please too tell us. Ah, yes, Japanese. Weak. Weak? You're fine. Still done. The ground floor below us. Room became available a week ago. Echo. My goodness, there it is. You want to know my opinion? He was a shady sort from the I set on eyes on. Why? He seemed to have a nervous disposition, always shaking. Told her the man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow. I said to myself, Joe, man is trouble. You know that he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything. He won't become a famous witness, that's for sure. Is there anything else struck you as at all? It was. Dying. Had you noticed anything else at all about your lodgers? How your lodger, Mr. Oh, right, yes, that was shady about it. Good. You elaborate? Room. He's stuffed full of books, it is. More than anyone could ever read. He never so much as passes this day with another living soul. Habits and fingers at the call. He just trots off to an old bookshop every day and sets fire to the gas fire. I find little manners up along past bed the time that else in the house has gone to bed too. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 every night. Japanese fellows who retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. Did you clarify something? What pray? Mr. Nasser? No. I understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house. Is that correct? Right. They're both below us, on the first floor and street level. Then how is it that you know so much about the lives of the lodgers? Precise times that they come back in the evening, for example. Times they go back to bed. Leave, Joe. What? My goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Get up here. Into the place around 5 a.m. Happened to look out of the window at around the time. The window? Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out of the rear road. This took place in the pavement, just far side of the street. Was anyone suspicious loitering nearby? I'll have a cloak is household. Afraid I don't seeing it. You, Joan? No, sir. It's been dusk outside already at that hour. Fog as well. I should think it would be possible to see the side of the road. Oh. You notice anything out of the ordinary? Such as? Nothing at all. Even if seen some related. Oh? England? I may, Mr. Exceedingly good memory, as far as I remember. Nothing of any significance to that hour. Not at all. Really. Faraday? way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, I was saying, Stop. What is the matter with you? We sat down to a quiet and peaceful meal. Sounds like something happened here. Incident. Wish I knew. Knows which floor Miss... certainly. Below us on the first floor. The Sholmes is investigating there even as we speak. Yes, told him that's his name. We'll give him the key. And that's amazing engagement with Holmes' services. The blade. Alright, if we also found Mr. Up the stairs. Try. All the clues we can lay our hand, shall we? Over there. Where's Sholmes again? Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more. Let's go do it. Look at this. Knowledge. Oh, that's... Where's the money? Once looks at home life. So dark. That's the window. Reading is an adorable little cat. I'm so looks but that he disappeared into that clicks of flash. Cat here. Got the little creature with him. He's only been in the tree for 2 days. Mm. Sorry, Mr. Natsumi. Way home. You're hardly in it. And all that you brought in your traveling abroad, as far as it. You mustn't say. I didn't say a word. Desk seems wedged into a crevice. Looks on you. Wrinkled domes. Oh. He must have done. Must. What's this? He from a secondhand bookshop. Books. Yes, Mr. Natsumi's name is on it. Look. Date of purchase. 2 days ago, 45 p.m. Short while before he was abroad. Attack. Way home from buying books. Paper on the floor was scrawled over them in English. Newspaper. Full labor. First and research. First time. What? What? It was just this dude would have phased into existence right there. Hold on. Ah, there he is. Where'd he be? That's what I'm. Oh, Mr. Holmes. Good day. Let me see. Pros that we met. Mr. Jones, we were together in the Aspergia. Oh, Aspergia. What happened on that voyage? It was because he died. But you were great to help. But of course, the case of Mr. Asogi was the one with the speak, wasn't it? Oh. Well, I can remember something of it. Oh no, I remember fake. your time. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. I don't, because I don't have any. Just safely recorded my brain out of this time. Oh, he got the names right, but for the wrong people. I hope to invite you both to take a sweet history the day we arrive in London. Some Scotland Yard was pushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. Solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes to the apprehension. Like you said, in that short amount of time. I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has pulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. A mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and distend to an extent. I do my best to forget the useless facts, but I should elbowed up the useful ones. My own words of inimitable wisdom from an adventure entitled A Study in Stars. Please, there's no need to fool yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom. Unfortunately, my associate pens them beautifully. Cyrus, I suppose. Miss Holmes, I have an extremely important question to ask you about the trivial case you just... When this expression? My dear madam, I should only be too pleased. Okay, room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. You know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Seki. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Stabbing of a young woman outside here on VR Road. I believe it was a name rather long. Mr. Natsumi, nice. Really just filed to arrest him so little? Fine, Mr. Follow. I have not the slightest idea what you mean. Can't believe you're looking Cesaro San squarely in the eye while fanning you. I assure you I'm not merely feigning ignorance. It appears that you are in misapprehension. Oh, how? I assure you I have no recollection of accusing your stupid compatriot of the crime. That doesn't make sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request to me, and I quote verbatim. Need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of the man seen fleeing the crime scene. Clean. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the crime. The book plates I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. And speaking of the I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there is a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question. The young thing is the culprit then. I couldn't tell you. Aggravating my fact. Hence why I returned here. Despite such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in the bibliophile. be a seed into believing that. Asia. No. Okay. Tell me, if we encountered the landlord of these lodgings, Sheridan, retired military man. Wrong. You're back. First time I've ever employed from a great British institution and its services. I've been British service. I didn't think, honey. I do apologize. You may well be aware, my house was in London employee maid. Yeah, I read as much as Great Britain primary. Conversely, none of the household employees are maid is going to be children the social standing of those dwelling therein. Broken on their soul. Great. Listen to me, my dear fellow. Those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class, those who do not are beneath them. The upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness. Extraordinary. As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. Yeah. And it's for that reason I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically, the retired Army veteran, Mr. John Girardin. No? Of course he is. The fellow was hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of the case, I am as yet unable to ascertain. Thoroughly lost on what he meant to say. You must thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. assure you, any man who locks his dwelling in this will stab somebody sooner. Unless it means stab no one. Probably sooner or later, as I said. I don't believe that's the issue here. That's dark little room. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? I mean, I can clearly see there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Oh, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax? What is that? Oh wait, it's not a tax on window. Precisely that. Still relatively recently, the tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home, perhaps rapidly closed windows up. While the rich opened windows here, there, and everywhere. In an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. Awful and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light. Disease was as rife as a result. Some 40 years ago or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you can see. In squatted lodgings, these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here isn't too generous, perhaps. It would appear so. Done a little digging. And discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price. Because the room is so up, I should think. Apparently, Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Buildings of little relevance here. And not worthy of further attention. You sure? I'm curious now. Well, I believe I told you all I can now. Mr. Odo, was it not your intention to become a practitioner at all? Perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? The occupant of the room, Mr. Natsume, was. Spirit. Not sure? On what grounds? Oh, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Then I congratulate you, sure. I shouldn't realize. Ooh. Thing is, primary question. Believe in my trust in your trust. For sure. Natsume didn't do it, did he? Dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. That's why you were here. Did you come back to investigate? That was indeed my initial intention. There are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was a Japanese occupant of the room, and there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. And one more thing. What is it the Kershoners tell us? I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of relevance to the case, but I'm quite sure the retired army man who owns his property is hiding something. I guarantee it is. Tom said as much before, actually, didn't he? Anyway, present, that is really all that plays in mind in relation to the case. Hold on. Yet our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence. Well, you're right. Perhaps this time we'll probe a little deeper into Mr. Yorida's secret. Remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. Wish you every success, of course, Mr. Busy man indeed. Come back to his book in the corner of the room. February. There's Narrative's room. We'll bear again. Tell me, what's the detective chap? I forget his name. Still hard at work down there. Mr. Sherlock Holmes? Ah, yes, rings a vague bell. All that detective business. Thing, I'm afraid. Mr. Holmes is Miss Zelman down there. Really good show. Have a cup of tea if you please, Joan. Now then, why don't you do for the young peace time? Which you're bally well doing. I shall be serving dinner shortly. Yes, of course. Frightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave if you'd be so kind. Yes, of course. We are deeply grateful for your assistance. Not at all, not at all. Very much, yes. In foreigners like yourselves, it's been a pleasure. Best of luck, Mother. Yourselves out. Mr. Sholmes, Meredith is hiding something. Just know their handlers of investigation seem hopeless. Perhaps we should do so. Why is he right there? Why is Sholmes just right at the window, staring out of it like a freaking 5-year-old? What's he doing over there? Sholmes? Ah, meet again, my dear fellows. Gracious, when did you sneak in here? Hello, Sholmes, sir. At your service. Whatever were you doing over by the window? I'm given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madam. Sadly, Cheerford's room downstairs undoubtedly is. It lacks an aperture for such observation. So I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up here. Well, those windows are dust-strewn thing to do in London, I'm gathering. Ah, and one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, me? That perhaps might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind. Wait, I'm talking about me. I didn't expect to be going through that. You mean, Mr. Sholmes? There's a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes even see the most trivial trifles. I think you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo. I think so. That's just time enough for one of my greatly admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark. Mr. Garrodeb, though it would seem you are a military man of considerably distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first rate. I'm afraid, sir, that it is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I have been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangement. I beg your pardon? First, that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. And the second? That as a result of the beast's final rampage, you have lost something very dear to you. Mr. Naruto, look. The old man broken out in a cold sweat. Unbelievable, since Mr. Sholm's conclusions are both spot on. How could you? How could I possibly know, you mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. We're about to go back to the deductions. It's been a whole freaking episode. And for into the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts. I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily named. So, shall we begin? Once again, I'd like Sean to try to present Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Nature of the beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on a rampage of late within these four walls. Thus we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? For the man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your further glance, Mr. Garridev, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that is running our affairs is revealed by that lion statue. Though an army man, you appear unimposing at best. The fact that this fueled your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts. What is this, if I asked you? In the end, your admiration becomes so legendary for your living, breathing specimen kept from the which you tried to keep in his very house. What? Yes, living with such a wild beast proved more difficult than you had imagined. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well, as we look around, there'll be some question appears to present itself. Where could its angry creature have disappeared to? Madam? I pray do you not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction. Is? Your dress pocket gives us handsome clues to the beast's current whereabouts. Protruding from it is a handbill advertising a circus show. Ah. Yes, you have to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Garridev, at Bally's Circus. Prowling show, currently sojourning in the nearby park. I've observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe. I most certainly not. I believe I have made my point. Fearsome beast will try and luck in this room with Indian lion. Simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion, prancing impudently through a ring of fire. Season, the rampaging Asiatic lion. Chapter 2, Aftermath. Now, Mr. Garridev, it is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, that blue coat to express this false has caused you is fair to me. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. With fits of tears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage. Nonsense, man. Sympathy. But what, we must now ask ourselves, is the true cause of this pain? I need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment. Loads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has had a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of both. And so, you have no choice but to let it go. Well, final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. Very expensive folding carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Hear me. What could cause such a destructive outburst? Madam, I'm afraid it wasn't thoroughly revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only to look at the Tower of Cakes. There is no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Oh, we are back, okay? Was it or was it not once said by a certain noblewoman, if they have no bread, let them eat? Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact. Heaven, you mean? Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its... I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There's only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpets. The teeth marks in the carpets are perfect match those of a lion's eye, gone and vision, carpet not on by the carving line. This concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this puzzle. What's the matter with you, Joan? You're pouring scolding hot tea all over me. I'm sorry, Mr. Garrideb. I'm afraid I didn't notice. Minor deductions can be startlingly sharp, and it stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times, too. Oh. What the... Mrs. Sholmes, sorry to butt in again. Could I make an observation? Why, certainly, said Naruhodo. What is it again? Well, your deductions just now. Do you really think a lion could have fit inside a room of this size? Indeed, it is the only explanation for the fact. The terrifying truth is all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. I did not just say lies beyond the realms of common sex. I did not just say that. I did not just say that. My brain did not just mess up and can end up in me saying that. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well? uncaged lion had run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Garrett and his maid would have been hurt, or worse. That's where you are stuck. No doubt the fallen military man held his own against the beast with a large cannon. I just said hold the lion to the circus. And what about the food? Meat and potatoes for one thing. I don't believe I've ever heard of a lion that drinks tea. Oh, my dear Mrs. R. It occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands from Great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for the afternoon. Oh, what a glorious notion. Now then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's your turn to shine again. The feeling that was coming. Slight massage, that's all Mr. Sholmes' deductions need. Do it. Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. We don't even know yet whether or not we're going to help with Mr. Naruhodo's case. Still, uncovering the truth is all worthwhile, whatever the motivation. That's what I want to believe. Let's start again from the beginning. Start up Sholmes, the logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold on, Mr. Holmes. Nature. It certainly shouldn't take a great protector to see, but a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Yes, we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? For a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garrett, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by a lion statue. I really didn't see the lion thing coming. No, but if you observe Mr. Garrett's reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok here in this room. Something with a very fierce nature. But it couldn't have been a lion transporter from India. What was it then? We must follow Mr. Garrett's gaze. That'll lead us to the true answer. Photograph. History from Garrett's wedding. He looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but you can't make out his bride. How unfortunate. Struck the glass directly over the wind's face. I wonder what happened. Best not to delve too deeply.
Take that!
True nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit. Yes, this framed print depicts pictures of your wife, Mr. Garrett. And while we lament the fact that her face is obscured, they'll make out her mighty arms and the considerable horsepower they must contain. Oh, indeed, Indeed, surely any woman with such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching a point. Too late, the fact that remains of the beast was so clearly established in this room. It's your wife, Mr. David. Chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Yes, yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Why could the same creature disappear to, madam? Me? I pray you not consider me unchivalrous, but it's plain to me with one glance in your direction. This? The dress part gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Poor fragile, as this woman is beside herself. Well, I don't know about fragile. Oh dear. Anyway, Mr. Sholmes is quite right. There's no sign of a Miss Garrett anywhere. Seems there may be clues to her whereabouts. A clue that this maid is trying to hide. Wonder where Miss Garrett's wife could be. Wedding ring. She's wearing a very large ring, look. It's a sunflower design with some rather nice embellishments on the ring finger of the left hand. Thanks. Really a wedding. Ring. On there for life, too. I can imagine it would slide off a finger on that. That's something to think, Mr. Naruhodo, I have to say. You know, Mr. Garrett's wife in the photograph... No, Garrett's wife in the photograph had a ring very much like this one. It was a large sunflower design as well. You have a great memory for these things. Large sunflower wedding ring. Quite coincidence they have the same ring, isn't it?
Take that!
Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Oh. Indeed it does. The flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown on the hand of Mr. Garrett's bride in this photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary old maid. No. You are Mr. Garrett's lucky bride. You are Miss Garrett herself, like herself. Oh my, what? Well, surely find it. As you rightly surmise, this is the wife, Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say that she was a folly girl. It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man who are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? Oh, right, I tell you. I was second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? By golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London, one is rather judged. For housework cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs some staff at all. Though, in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are folly. You mean Mr. Garrett has his wife work as his maid? Precisely, am I right, Mr. Garrett? Probably in company, obviously, but listen here, this must remain a secret. Top secret, please. Oh, reaching life with Mr. Garrett. 2. Aftermath. Now, Mr. Garradeb. It is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. The pose. Stress loss has caused you. The stress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. Pain your holding arm. Mr. Soames is quite something. He's still calling Mr. Garradeb's wife a sad woman. Feels rather comfortable. But Mr. Garradeb is standing beside your husband, weak. In other words, he hasn't lost it at all, has he? Well, how true. But perhaps that's supporting on. Other side, according to Mr. Soames, Garradeb's pain is tangible. That pose of his really sick. Collapsed weak.
Take that!
Head raising, shoulders, and you feel by a slap. Of course, the deliverer of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade. It's you, Madame Joan Garradeb. Yes. You have been desperate. That mark. Oh, the places. Get out, man. Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. The other side from view. And also, it looks kind of cursed. Now, let's proceed to the next dungeon. Oh, Spectre just violence. In other words, we must ask ourselves what the cosmetic narrative defined to a page. We need only follow the direction of our gaze to find the answer. Yes, the pile of bills has continues. You're shown if the bills were all for one file. Now we just... Which can only mean being responsible for following. No, she's a person, not a thing. Also a person. Elaborate face. As one of them. Also, I'd love to know. Someone lets you bring this bookmark. It was clearly an avid reader. Wait a minute. I don't think it's a bookmark. No, so it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. Look, next to the signature. Lip marks, made with lipstick. Passionate. Wait, can't check the court record. Bookmarks actually open. That means...
Take that!
Yes, this is a love note that's given rise to the pain you see. I know, almost passionate. Perhaps the center of this note is serving as Harry is the fly in the ointment. I don't know the bally woman. Don't know her. It wasn't written to me. It's just in the book. I don't know how. Yeah. What's your name? What's your name? John Garradeb. It said Jane. Just in there. Right, that's what I thought. A likely story. Listen here, Joan. explained at the time. On that book, the second-hand place. Look, it's been in there. So the printed down of the book was a bookmark. Right, please. Likely story. For heaven's sake, what's the name? It's Jane. My name is John. A likely story. Are you questioning my name? That we have this aroused the suspicions of beast with ferocious. Now, in a final fit of rage, ferocious like one last unimaginable. The aftermath of which can be clearly seen observing the carpet over there. Very expensive form of carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Deary me. How could I call such a destructive outburst? This time, who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eyes settled upon the answer very neatly. Explain the dynamic of the conflict. Really, Mr. Taylor didn't. Anything's possible. For example, even if you can't see it, I up a rock. Like, I found this behind like a wardrobe thing. Call it. I had it before, but I found it again. There doesn't seem to be any doubt. They have disarrayed this from within as a result of her wild temper. No, that's true. This is the last part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction that we fix. We need only to follow Mr. Garrett's gaze, and that will tell us the real answer. Let's see what we can see. Yeah. Does it? Oh, the place was too small. Surely it's very unstable. Looks to me, even the slightest knock would make it quiver. Okay, wait. Look at this. One can missing. I didn't notice that before. Hold it.
Take that!
State of the carpet, and you'd only look at the candlestick. Most eliminating idea, Fedo. The only possible error of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the remnants of a ferocious and the carpet is clearly visible. Indeed they are. Torch marks at the edge clearly give the truth away. Torch marks? It would appear that this room is the scene of a little marital altercation. There it is, mighty on the touching up on the husband's face. But on the end of the room, was described as a candle to fall from the holder. In seconds, while it was a bite, the whole corner of the room in flames. The most ferocious beast in the world is neither a violent or a vengeful woman with fire. In this room, that ferocious beast spared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. There is but one conclusion here. After the sparks and thinking of a fire. salute you. Conclusion. Torch, ice, fire. It's these bastards. Nothing to do but read in front of the fire. Luckily, there's a jolly good second-hand bookshop just around the corner. Buy all my old novels there. And in the pages of one particular novel, we discovered some rather illicit material, which your wife had punished you harshly. Don't know about that punished, demolished. Demolished, was to the mark. Beast is most certainly we go again. And the carpet was destroyed by a fire, like a fire when a candle fell on the floor. Afraid to say it was. I didn't blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a body thing. Caught between the old sixth rage and the raging fever. He paints a torn picture. One that would have been twisted to ruin. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. Now they started going up as well. Had to hide the mess. Screen for it. Over here, Mr. Garrett? Well, you have nothing more to hide. So allow me. Check on my favorite old novel. As soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Gosh. I started hurling things at me. Terrible sight it must have been. There I was, against the window, the enemy fire. Insect, books, 10 to the dozen. If it is, I lost my favorite. They're called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride? Oh yes, your notorious love of big cats coming through. I assure you, the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. Poor man really did lose something. First. Sean's deductions turned out to be correct once again. He can only be described as a great worker. Failures, total carnage, flames everywhere, the old stick in full fettle. Out of interest, what time of day was that? Before I can remember. It was 2 days ago now. See, around 5 o'clock, I think. No, at exactly the same time. A terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window on the street. Terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window on the street below. Even more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. The whole of lighting could have been flattened outside my window at that moment. And I wouldn't have noticed a dashed thing. Really? Holmes. What can I do for you? I think we got to the bottom of this situation. What does it have to be there? Be a fellow. Oh, I did say as much. I warned you that although I knew they were hiding something, not be sure of whether it's relevant to you mustn't lose heart. Bear in mind that all things fall into one of only two categories. Those relevant to the case and those not. That makes sense. Oh, no matter. I'm afraid it is far greater. prison will. That time already? Where do we accept this now? Paperwork. Tuxedo. So sorry. Thank you both very much. Railroad. Hi, Mr. Prison. Better. Something's going on over there. Jared's house. What are you calling it old from looking? There are more things in ratio than I dreamt of. Philosophy. Who's this Horatio fella you want about? Excuse me. If Popeye's the guy with this, Popeye's the Spanish guy, that's who this guy looks like. What the freaking? Sorry. So there might be some problem. Negotiating. Oh, that was clear, you see. Lawyer. What? If you have any assistance, I'd be happy to help. Yeah, but I've... Oh. Fine. Ain't over yet. Get the narrator. I look like a human nunny. I do hope. Very simple then. Oh, yeah, let's talk gently. Thank you. Oh, what is that all about? There are more things. There are more things than I dreamt of in philosophy. I'm not Horatio either. Good inquiry, sir. Are you a lodger here in the garret embassy? Oh, that's alright. I do dwell in this humble abode. Garret had mentioned that he had another lodger, but must be the man. You happen to know the other lodger who was first floor? Yes, a gentleman named Ness. Oh, more worthy upon this that was could it be? Sorry? What did you say? I'm the Hamilton Macbeth. Estimate, and going to the night. He. I don't fully understand, but Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances. Fair maiden. There is no longer. Fare thee well. Damn them. Or what happened? Anyway, so we can't really help. I'll just scared of certainly full. Why did I have to take that word? I'll go find it. Go and find it. I'm sure Master. Hope we can get to the prison before visiting. February PM. Prisons. It's you. You're here. You came. Welcome, Mr. Naruhodo. I believe you came back. waiting. Think nothing of it. Relax. By way of paths, with pleasure to such fine compatriots. Oh, how dare you put us on Nepalese? I get carried away. There's nothing during the flirty of one's name. This through friend could transport us what truly appreciate. Such is my belief. Oh, it's siesta. You, miserable, rotten spy. Jones. Jones, what are you doing? I have no intention of doing anything. I am observing, of course. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Soames? Well, having encountered some curious ring material in the gleamful room, and having another eccentric affair, I'd say I should drop in on my way home. See how our divested friend is faring. Full room. At least your accommodation here offers a window with a sense of superior option. Anyway, I must commend you for tasting books. Nowadays, one of the bites can cost me not a penny. How dare you wear that show? Never from the Great Britain. Terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits and other buildings that my first in tomorrow's trial as well. All right. What are you thinking? You mentioned that one before, didn't you? That his lodging is cursed, I mean. There's much truth. First is a wholly appropriate description, I would say. Man's lodgings, indeed for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? Assuming. What did you mean by what you said about the trial first? Why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just carried away. That's all. Mean anything by it? I see. That's really agitating. You don't mean the trial really is cursed somehow? Are you referring to the prosecutor? Reaper of the Bailey? Reaper? Oh no. What do you mean? Please tell me. Summarize it succinctly in 16 salient words. No defendant has ever survived a trial which the Reaper stands for the prosecution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. He actually did it in 16 words. That would really be true if that was 16. That's what I'm saying. That was exactly 16 words. Today, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone. Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in usual circumstances. What? I'm impressed, Mr. Sato. You have an eye for detail. Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us. Jones. Surely it can't be that he failed to he was convicted. Lord Benziques killed the man himself. No, he couldn't have. Surely? You have some wonderful notions. The man isn't a mass murderer. He's a cold prosecutor, my dear fellow. Yes. Why, of course he is. Of course he is? Then why are you trying to scare me? It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? Benziques is a quite exceptional man. However, in London court of law, exceptional not equate to winning every case without exception. That's good. That looks like he's going to cry tears of joy. As you are no doubt aware, in a British criminal trial, there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates the letter of the law. The jury offers public opinion and defense. It is an excellent system where the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals and lawyers, for that matter, can use it to their advantage. Any means at their disposal, providing evidence, calling imposters as witnesses, and so on. By such underhand means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury. It means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, prosecution can fail. It means the wrong verdict can be passed. Sadly, is from time. Sadly is time. Simply the doubt forming of the situation. Alright. However, those indicted by Lord Benson cannot escape justice. Fate is time. Though the education is important with freedom, within months they all here. It is most striking. It's here. But how? By all manner of misfortune, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever. Perhaps attacked by high. Oh, no. All examples of the reality, even of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Miss. I knew it. I'm dead. It was done for pig. You said accursed lodgings before. You're referring to your room at Mr. Garrett's house, I assume. You mean to say that you believe the place is cursed? And again, named the Great Britain. I'd only been in London a week before I started to notice strange feelings in my... That didn't take long. Where I looked, there were faces. I'm sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me all the time, from dawn till dusk. I shut myself away in my room, but even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away. It must have been very lonely, having been away from your home for such a long time. I've had to move a number of times, most recently to that room on Briar Road. How big is it now? Yes, why did you choose there? Well, inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money, it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable, but the landlord just simpered and said, "Room is cursed." He tripped me quite to cover his mistake, but it was too late. So I told him, "You have something to say, then say it. If not, don't mention it in the first place." Yes, well said. True, it was all true. You mean it really is cursed, then? Ever since I moved into that windowless place, it has been plagued with nightmares. I wake up feeling as though I'm being choked to death. And in my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. Only there was some person on the side. Really no one at all. Leave. Mr. Sholmes? Hey, what can I do for you? That's the case on the Asperia. Do you recall? Asperia. Ah, that case. The one with the snake? Look, yes. At that time I was the suspect. You didn't believe in me and listen to my side of the story. You helped us to investigate. Did I? Interesting. What I want to know is, why? Why did you? Yes, I mean, Because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room. You're like, yes. I'm a little surprised at the implied explanation my kid fellow. Quite simple, really. You said I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. Affected me a little. I think perhaps you misunderstood. I need to recall believing in no one that was telling me. The only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in. What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? I make up my own mind about what is to be believed in. If I should like to believe in something, circumstances hang as far as I'm concerned. I could have betrayed your trust. I guess I should have made an elementary error of judgment. Nothing more. Although trust is an overused excuse in my opinion. Meaning, whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, under oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. That's right. That's right, looking student Mr. Hodo Esquire. But no. Renslayer is only as good as his faith is. That comes down to how much faith you have. Oh. Oh, right. Hello? This time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to report us out. It's a restaurant here that serves excellent trout. Would you join me? Never enough. Mr. Nasu, if you'd like, proud of Mark. Represent you. As I said, I only experienced the British courtroom for the first time yesterday, and although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Crucial? What to believe in? The defendant. Justice? Truth. Belief. I finally worked it out. I must help me. Trust me. I need that you, Mr. Innocent. Comparatively prove that for fight for your innocence at the bitter end with every weapon available. So I hope that purpose it. I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me. Mayor of tongue. Fair to say, Mr. Porto, that my mind was, anyway, upset. We merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey. Got there in the end. Going to stand by my side tomorrow. Work? But this morning, they consider me personal judicial assistant. Talking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on me. Presume will believe in me. Mr. Sholmes will too. And that I learned it. Like you said, it was my job to help. The fight is gone. Frank Beckett. trial now? 20th February, 3 a.m. Old Bailey. Expected this. You're again so soon. Heading toward break. The intention of legal practice. For the research slate. Oops. We need as much court experience as possible. Yes, I suppose that's true, as Doc may well be his one only his or her one or court. Life changing, which can bring in as research a little crass. Oh, put it like that. It's quite right. Mr. Natsume, good morning. Dear, alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot. The bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain. Heard that I really don't want to catch a worm. I tried desperately to wake up early. I was so worried. Catch a wink. Now I'm absolutely exhausted with the result. I literally repeat. Really? Thank you for your patience, Natsume. Thank you for putting your faith in us. The shadow of my lives. Oh, my whole future hangs in the balance. Too terrified to tremble. Really? I can feel tremors on the floor. After this, I can't take it. Although, thanks to Mr. Esquire. Yes? At the glimpse of the galleries, I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London. Neither did I. You know why that might be, Mr. Naruto? Sorry, Mr. Naruto? That I had no freaking clue. I'm joking. Sorry, Mr. Naruto. But I had no idea. So that all-knowing look on your face is just coincidence, then, is it? Don't hide the truth from me. It's the Reaper, isn't it? Or Van Zeeks? Right, Mr. Sato? I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning. Yes, Lord Van Zeeks is on the front page of every one. I knew it. Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey, stopped appearing in court, it seemed. In several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday. Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? The trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Zeek's return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. The trial of Magnus McGilded. Harrowing experience. I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than like days. We wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country. As the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon for what appears to be a mundane murder. That's the question the papers are asking. All speculating various answers. Mundane? Mundane? It's no significant subject. No. Mundane? Mundane? It's no significant saga of the century to some of us. Oh dear, I mean no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it. Well, lest we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. There's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago. 3. Local student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You? Me? Both times it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. And only me. But you're friends with the Reaper! What? Please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers. I'm afraid there's really only one explanation. It can only be another example of your own bad luck. It's just my luck. Why must I be upset with a man with such fair fortune? Oh, this lucky looking alive. Let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent. The reason I'm just a student new to London with little in the way of experience or skills. Buck, I promise you that I will fight your corner until the bitter end. I will believe in you, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You're not alone here with us, Mr. Whatever happens, we'll be on your side. No, come assistant. No, come assistant. Miss Mikotoba Esquire. Nuts. Counsel for the defense. Court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once. Right then, Mr. Natsume, it's time. Go. This is it. Second appearance in a British courtroom. Second trial against Reaper. Too much of a week. I won't run my favor. I believe in my client to the last. You believe in me. I believe I can do this now. Ready for this fight. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution, fully prepared. The defense is ready, my lord. Truly a fascinating breed. Lord Stronghart has told me all about you. You are a student who arrived in London 2 days ago. Mere amateur. Point. Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Arrogance. Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description. Yes. After all, in our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent. True, and a most fascinating, if dark, trial it was too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. He is to be acquitted at his unfortunate violent end. Thank you, couples. I see both sides are on the fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? Never know when you might be down on your luck, but I believe in fair play for everyone. Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear. Oh, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow. I'm afraid to say, I think it is quite possible that mustached foreigner did the deed. Come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway. Oh, didn't quite catch that. Very well, let us proceed. Opening statement, please, no advances. Very recently, Great Britain made an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from the Thing Land, a certain Mr. Sasaki Natsume. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably the kindness has not been returned. The student is accused of a more sinister act. Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street. Knife crime? I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst. Bloody oath they are. Just look at the sallow complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese. Come on, let's get this over with. 1-1, 3. Sorry, didn't quite catch that. Pray, forgive the courtesy of smashing my hollow chalice here, great chamber. Allow me to call the first witness, and... Very well. Otis, lead the inspector in, please. Your name and occupation, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Inspector at Scotland Yard. Please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector. The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be? Yes, having been stabbed in the back by her attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now. She's been comatose ever since. What? You don't even know who she is for sure? Comatose. As if life is not in danger. Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Hey, elaborate on the details, Inspector. Sure, I'd like to ask everyone to look at the street map. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago, at around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside Breer Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles. It had not been long since it stopped snowing as the victim, Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Luckily, the lady's life is spared, and is currently being treated by the hospital. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence. The case file has been entered in the court record. What of the weapon that was used? Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back. Trying to make me scared to walk down the street now. With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab a poor woman. Even the Becky-san, please. scarred and jackknife. Okay. Rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. Court accepts the blade as evidence. Article commonplace folding knife. Found lodged in the victim's back. Now then, what do we know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume? From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it seems like she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have had anything much worth pitching. I see, well in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment toward the victim? Afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to get out much. In the meantime, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim. After grievance had been ruled out as the motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? The rest of the man thought about him totally justified.
Objection!
Pray forgive the discrepancy of freshly uncorked bottle and galleries, but your words have soured its hollowed bouquet. It is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed. Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary arrested upon these students. Natsume's arrest. As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred. There was an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind, so he collapsed from the pavement. He ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. There was a number of old books in each spot. He was on his way home from the bookshop, it seemed. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to. We found the bloke to arrest him. What books you... Yes, my lord. Photography of the scene of the crime, taken immediately after the incident. Right, yes. Clearly see the books to which you are referring. I will take the photograph and print this over to please, Inspector. This breed, too cowardly to admit defeat, denying everything has been overwhelming. Forgive me, Lord Van Seeks, but the defendant is not denying everything. What are you doing? You go on. Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in this. Isn't that right, Mr. Mention it. When we visited him in person yesterday, he did tell us what it all happened. I was walking along on a cursed pavement. I can make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was. I just said we were overtaken. He suddenly let out a little scream, and to her left onto the cold hard slabs and stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. Green overcoat. That's exactly what the woman in that pool is wearing. A photographic print in full color. What will the world come up with next? Benner has done nothing but more than admit he fled from this terrifying incident. He was guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back. Nobody else there at the time. Just the two of them, victim and accused. In other words, there was nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. In fact, the accused concedes. If this cross-examination can prove to be pivotal, counsel. Proceed, please. Yes, ma'am. Nothing further. Cross-examination attorney. It's our only chance. said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when these occurred. Usually light fall. The building was reasonably good. No one else about but the victim and the accused.
Hold it!
I guess I'll continue from here tomorrow. Make it a possible. I guess I'll end the stream from here.